What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Comic Island. My name is Joey and I'm walking home from work and it's bloody hot today. Now, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video, I want to bring to you 10 of the most popular superheroes and supervillains that have called themselves Venom throughout the years. Now, I'm removing two of the most popular characters, Peter Parker and Eddie Brock. It wouldn't be fair. One of those two will take the grand prize, of course. So I've compiled a short list of 10 heroes and villains that I thought should get some recognition as Venom. And of course, we have the Venomverse just around the corner. So I thought we want to give Venom a lot more exposure. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, now let's kick off with something strange. Remember that time when Venom took over a friggin' Tyrannosaurus Rex? No? Well, it happened. Venom has been known to latch onto a plethora of beasts and insects, but he has never gone prehistoric until 2008, when we got taken on an epic ride to a dystopian future. Old Man Logan and Hawkeye are on a jolly road trip across the country until they ran into Venom Rex. Without a way to outrun the rampaging dino symbiote, the two are about to give up until the true anti-Venom came along. Black Bolt's sonic whisper was all it took to knock out the Venom Rex, allowing our heroes to continue on their merry way. After a long night of following low-level criminals back to their hangout, Eugene Flash Thompson came up with a brilliant idea to make a grand entrance. Bond with a vintage car. Now, this is the first time that we have ever seen the symbiote take control of an inanimate object. The Venommobile was short-lived because right after the grand entrance, Agent Venom removed himself from the car and continues to trample on the grunts on his way to the boss. The quick scene shows us that there are a lot of untapped potential to the Venom symbiote. If it was able to bond with a piece of machinery, what other inanimate objects can it bond with? This one's a bit of a stretch because Venom took control of not just one but multiple members of the Guardians. While joined up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, Flash Thompson loses control of the symbiote. While free, Venom went on a free-for-all quickly with a few members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. We got Rocket Venom, Venom the Destroyer, and my personal favorite, I Am Venom. At the end, the Guardians were released so that the symbiote can finally return home to its planet of Clintar. Poor Logan. If being chased by a vicious T-Rex with Venom's powers isn't enough, he now has to share bodies with the alien symbiote. Following a nuclear strike in the wilderness of Canada, Wolverine is left alone with the symbiote. Logan began his hunt, but instead of being the predator, he found himself the prey as a symbiote blindsides the Wolverine. With Wolverine's healing factor and unlimited supply of adrenaline, the symbiote finally found itself the perfect host. But then by the next issue, a cell phone embedded in Wolverine's chest blasted a sonic wave, removing the symbiote from its host. Dazed and confused, Logan says, "Can you hear me now?" Then there's that time when the same Old Man Logan who got chased down by the Venom Rex bonded with said Venom and became one of Apocalypse's 4 horsemen. But then young Jean Grey, with her telepathic abilities, went inside Venom's mind and forcefully removed the symbiote from its host, Logan. What happens when you remove the Fantastic Four and replace them with random superheroes? For one example, you get SpiderMan, Wolverine, Hulk, and the Ghost Rider. Now, what happens when you turn them into someone's worst nightmare? You get Agent Venom, X-23, Red Hulk, and a female Ghost Rider that everyone forgot about. In this story titled The Circle of Four, Blackheart, a demon hell spawn of Mephisto, aims to bring hell to Earth starting with Las Vegas. He attracted the attention of 4 heroes who now has to team up in order to stop Blackheart from transforming the rest of the world into hell itself. With the exception of X-23, the other heroes combined to create the Red Hulk with the powers of the Venom symbiote possessed by the spirit of vengeance. At this point, you'd like to think that Blackheart would throw in the towel and say, well, this is too much badassery for me. Sorry for troubling you guys. Back to hell I go. Instead, he engages the rampaging symbiote Hulk from hell. Blackheart loses and the heroes return to their original status quo. But not before Flash Thompson squares things with the Avengers and gets a pass by Thetis Thunderbolt Ross, aka the Red Hulk. Deadpool played host to the Venom symbiote a few times. One such time was during a What If episode where the Merc with a mouth got a job from Galactus to kill the Beyonder with a retcon expungifier gun. Yeah, that was a thing. Deadpool then bonds with a symbiote who threw Parker to the curb, got Jerry curls, partied with the Beyonder and Tony Stark for a few years, and then more randomness happened. Yeah, it was kind of a weird story. But anyway, let's talk about what happens in the main Marvel universe. There was this time when Deadpool bonded with a bunch of random symbiotes in order to go after Carnage. Then there's a time when we found out that it was Deadpool who wore the symbiote first before Parker ever got his grubby little hands on the suit. It has been told that the symbiote was pure until it took a peek into the mind of Wade Wilson. And then, well, it all went down from there. But wait a second, let's not dismiss this as a goofy what-if comic. Deadpool's Secret War involvement is backed up by his adventures in Deadpool Back in Black. In this story, you can find the symbiote rejoining the Merc with a mouth in between its regular hosts, Peter Parker and Eddie Brock. This ex-Marine gun-for-hire mercenary came out of nowhere, and for reasons unknown, he manages to subdue Venom. Parker couldn't control Venom. Brock gave up to Venom's anger. Flash was only able to control the symbiote via sedatives and his strength of will. Some can say that Lee Price was able to control the symbiote due to his military background, but Flash had that as well. Whatever the reason is that allows Lee Price to control the symbiote, he did so, and was on his way up the criminal underground until SpiderMan came along. This is the most updated version of the symbiote itself. There isn't any more hate in his heart after the symbiote was restored to its original glory following its journey with the Guardians of the Galaxy to its home planet. So, when Spider-Man entered the scene, Venom gathered enough strength of will to leave Lee Price for Spider-Man, who he knows is a hero. But Spider-Man wasn't aware of Venom's new change. Venom gets trapped by Spider-Man and hauled away. Feeling betrayed, the Venom symbiote yells out that he hates Spider-Man. Shortly after, it came back to probably the most popular man that has ever held onto the symbiote, Eddie Brock. After being auctioned off to the highest bidder, the Venom symbiote found itself a new host. But then, the new host wasn't evil enough, so the symbiote threw him off a ledge. Then it found someone who hated Spider-Man as much as it does. Now, imagine if the Scorpion had a love child with Eddie Brock Venom. Enter Mac Gorgon, the Venom Scorpion. With the symbiote's abilities, Mac can now do everything that Eddie Brock Venom did, but with his skills as the Scorpion, Mac found new abilities such as creating a scorpion tail and using it as a weapon and fifth appendage. He also makes use of those razor-edged claws to chop his foes to bits, and when the occasion calls for it, he can grow in size and mass, an ability that Eddie Brock never truly mastered. As Venom, Mac Gargan took the fight to Spider-Man like he never did before. He got defeated, of course, so he joins a new group calling himself the Sinister 12. Got defeated, so he went to Battleworld to enter a contest of champions. Well, that didn't work too well for him. During the first Civil War, he joins a new version of the Thunderbolts to help capture any vigilante who wouldn't sign the registration form. Civil War ended, but all is not lost for Mac Gargan. He still has a symbiote. With his new best symbiote buddy, Gargan joins Norman Osborn's version of the Dark Avengers, posing as Spider-Man with his old black suit. Flash Thompson, the current host of the symbiote, was deep on a mission to take out a mob boss who ventured into the superior Spider-Man's neck of the woods. You see, this is a time when Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body and became a murderous vigilante. During a skirmish between Agent Venom and the mob, the superior Spider-Man arrives to save the day. But instead of joining Agent Venom, Spider-Man attacks Flash, believing that the symbiote is pure evil. Agent Venom escapes, but shortly after, Parker manages to get Flash into an operating room with a promise to fix his amputated leg. The procedure commences, and unbeknownst to Flash, the machine also removes the symbiote from its host. Spider-Man arrives to claim his prize, but the symbiote is now in pain. It is isolated and scared, making it much stronger. Venom breaks its containment and latches onto the closest host in its path. This begins the superior Venom. With his new powers, Doc Ock went on a vigilante rampage. His personal police force and Spider-Bots alerts him to any crime happening in his city, no matter how small. He even stopped a guy from texting and driving. Damn, that's extreme. The main Avengers intervened shortly after, but even they had problems taking on the superior Venom. But then, Doc Ock started to realize that the symbiote is changing him, made him more aggressive and angry. With the combined efforts of the Avengers and Peter Parker's subconscious, Doc Ock finally manages to separate himself from the Venom symbiote. Flash Thompson, bully turned war vet turned alcoholic turned superhero, is a train wreck of a person with many flaws, but his bond with the symbiote is so unique that his entry makes it to the top of my list. During its time with Thompson, the symbiote learned to be heroic. Under Thompson's control, the symbiote is Agent Venom, but if Thompson is knocked out or enters Venom form while intoxicated, the symbiote takes over and does pretty much whatever it wants. But when it comes down to it, the symbiote loves being bonded with Thompson and it treasures their symbiosis. During a battle with Kraven, Thompson loses consciousness and the Venom took over. Instead of going headstrong into a fight with the Hunter, Venom flees the scene so it may protect its host. After an adventure with the Guardians, Venom kidnaps the entire team and takes them back to his home planet. This is when we discover that the symbiote is part of a cosmic police force meant to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Many of its faction were splintered off and corrupted, hence the evil symbiotes we all know and love. But its main goal is to protect and serve. All it needs is a host to help it carry out its mission. The Clintar took back the symbiote and purified it from all corruption. This process erased any and all memory of all of its hosts it came in contact with, except for its first and last host. With renewed vitality, Flash Thompson and the Venom symbiote are the protectors of the galaxy, an agent of the cosmos. Whew. It is super hot outside, but I am finally home. But what did you think about the Venom's host list? Please let me know in the comments below. Now, if you notice, we didn't include any of the Venom characters from Venomverse because, well, you know, that would be way too easy. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in another Comic Island video.